Grow 'em Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by Huntworth and these other fine sponsors.
Almost all of us that are into proven habitat for whitetails, well, we hunt whitetails as well. And guess what? Most of us are turkey hunters. Let's talk a little bit about how we can go ahead and maximize our turkey hunting success. With every and anything I do, if I want to go ahead and improve stuff, I need to understand the animals first. So let's go ahead and simply break down the turkey rut. Quite honestly, it's not much different than the whitetails. If you go ahead and look at season, the entire season, if you've got seasons that start before the wood starts to green up, all the way through till after the poults have been hatched, you'll notice a pattern. Right away to start the year, man, the turkeys are everywhere. They are out and about in the wide open. Wow, is this ever going to be a great season? Because everywhere you look, there's turkeys. But think about what's going on. Okay, there are no greens in the woods yet at all. But those open areas that are receiving sunlight, they're actually getting sunlight. So the greens are starting to pop. The insects happen to be out there. The acorns that are in the woods, the mast, it has been picked over all darn winter long at this point. The picking is getting so slim, and all of a sudden, boom, there is this just absolute bloom of growth and food in the open. So what happens? The turkeys, that's where they go. They go to the food, and at the same time, the hens aren't ready yet. They aren't ready, but those toms know they will be soon. So those toms are desperate. They are running around strutting like crazy. And then you get a little deeper into season, and all of a sudden now the wood starts to come to life as well. You start getting the green growth back in the woods, and the insects start coming to life, and oh my goodness, all of a sudden that's where a whole bunch of food's at, and you don't have to be out there in the open to get it. And oh, what else is going on? Breeding now. Well, the majority of this breeding activity is going to occur back in the woods where they feel safe. I'm not saying they don't breed in the open, but your hens are feeding in the woods now because of all these new insects, because of all this new green. Guess what? The toms are going to be there too. And when the toms are breeding, when the bucks are breeding, is that always a great time to be out in the woods? Well, it is if you happen to be around that doe that's an estrus. But if you aren't, it sure can be slow. It's the exact same thing with turkeys. Those toms are busy actually breeding. When they're breeding, are they going to have any desire to come into your calls? Absolutely, positively no. They have what they want already. So calling tends to not be as effective. And then you start getting late. And now, what are the hens doing? They're sitting on the nests. When they're sitting on the nests back in the woods, now all of a sudden that last season very often is the very best when it comes to trying to get into mature toms. Why? Because they're desperate. They've had breeding, they want more breeding, they know there's a couple more breeding opportunities available, but gosh darn it, the hens, they're few and far between, so they have to work so much harder, and just that quick calling gets super effective all over again. If you look at the turkey season, like the rut cycle for whitetail hunting, you know what? You're going to be way closer to right than you will be to wrong, and you can use that data to stack the odds in your favor.
Final thoughts, brought to you by Huntworth.
When you really peel the onion, there's not much difference between the rut cycle for the whitetails and spring turkey hunting seasons. The turkeys are shifting with the hens are following the food. The toms want the hens, so the toms are following the hens. When the hens aren't receptive, calling sure works great because they're desperate. once the majority of the hens have been bred. Calling sure works great because they're receptive. The in-between times, very often, people do way too much calling. Remember, when that Tom is actually breeding those hens, he has what he wants. He doesn't need to go chasing your calls to try to find what he already's got.